Welcome to Ever After, a Once Upon a Time podcast. It's Season 1, Episode 11, Fruit of the Poisonous Tree. I'm your host, Marla Southgate, and with me is...
Martha Southgate.
And Rob Southgate.
As Sydney asks Emma for help uncovering evidence that could expose corruption, meanwhile, David and Mary Margaret continue to meet secretly.
Yeah.
All right.
So what did you think of this episode?
I loved it, just as usual.
Yes.
I always say that.
Yeah, they don't really let us down, do they?
No, this one
was really exciting, though, and I loved getting to see some of the backstory and understanding how he ended up in the mirror.
Yeah.
Getting trapped in the mirror and all that kind of
So that was really the crux of the story, was when we were outside of Storybrooke.
Yep.
It was the story of the mirror. And how he became that. I was really shocked, though, that it was a genie and all, and how that whole thing played out.
I would like to announce that this is the last episode. From then on, this is the very last episode that me and Mom have watched. So now all be new through.
Yeah,
these are going to be new and exciting for all three of us now.
Yes.
Spoiler alert: the next one has Bow.
I know. I can't wait.
Okay, well, let's get through this one first, because this was really fantastic. So, how do you want to do it? Do you want to talk about the genie part of it first?
Yeah.
And then we'll do Storybrooke second?
You do it, Molly. You tell us however you want.
Well, the genie part first.
Okay,
so you start us out. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I really liked it when the genie was like at the queen, like, ooh. You're like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful.
He just was in love with her.
He was kind of moony over her.
And it makes sense, because think about the story. He keeps saying, you're the fairest in the land and everything. And that was exactly how he was reacting to her.
Well, let's talk for one. I want to mention 1 second.
What?
How the genie got to meet the queen.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
He washed up on the beach, and
we saw him in the bottle first.
Yeah.
And he looks up. This was cool. He looks up, and you could see through the top of the bottle, you could see the king reaching down, and he goes, oh, here we go. So he knew he was getting picked up. He knew that he was coming out of the bottle at this point.
And guess what? That looked exactly like the bottles, like the genie bottle from the Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. How it looked like the oil lamp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and he said...
And the inside looked exactly like the one that was kind of like a vase.
Yes.
That one. That looked exactly.
When he said that he was from Agrabah.
Yeah.
So now we really are getting an idea that all these genies in that are stemming from Agrabah.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm from Agrabah, and I've been trapped in here. He said he had answered 1,001 wishes.
Yeah.
He said, I've been in here longer.
1,001 of them have failed terribly.
Yes.
But he said, I've been in here longer than you've been alive. I've been trapped in here longer than you've been alive.
Right. So, he was trapped in there a long time, and he had the bracelets on.
Yeah. And then the king's... Let me tell you all the wishes.
Okay.
Except for the third.
Okay, so these are the 3 wishes that the king makes.
The king gets.
Right.
2, he gets 2.
Okay, what was the first one?
The first one was him doing he was saying, like, wait a second, he wished for the genie to be free.
Yes.
And then...
Now, that was a good wish, and I said right away that I thought that might not be a real wish. Like, I didn't know that you could wish the genie free.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen that in other things.
Yeah, but when you wish the genie free, don't you get trapped and become the genie? Because doesn't there need to be a genie in the bottle?
I was wondering about that as well. It seems to me that somebody has to get in there.
Yeah. I thought that was a rule. Although, you know what? No. I think I got it. I think this is what they were doing there. The fact that was not the third wish meant that there was still a wish in there. Because he said there's still a wish in here. If he had used that wish, then somebody else would have had to go in, and that's probably what opened the door for what we saw in Wonderland.
Yeah, because you have to use all 3 wishes in order for the next genie to go back in the bottle.
Yeah.
Right. So even though he wished him free, there were still wishes to be had.
Yeah. Yes. So he did then he wished. I don't know how he wished this one, because he was standing with a regular person then, and then he wished.
Well, yeah, but he said the wishes were coming from the bottle.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Or the lamp, in that case.
So what did he wish?
What was the second wish?
The second wish was for... I forgot. What do you... Oh, yeah! For the genie to have the last wish.
Yes.
And then the genie...
and then the genie owns that third wish, and we don't see that until later, what he wishes.
And the genie put the lamp in his pocket.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And then... So then the king invites him back to the palace, and because the genie says, all I want is to find true love.
Well, and the king was such a good guy, and he's just like, I have no wishes, I have everything I want, and the only thing I desire is for people to be happy in my kingdom. And they're all happy.
Yeah,
well,
he's a good man.
Except for one.
Except for his woman.
Except for one who I was getting suckered in by the queen.
Nothing's going to make her happy.
Right, but
you were really thinking she was a victim?
No. What I was thinking is it was kind of like when we watched Wonderland, how the Red Queen, it turned out, wasn't actually bad. And I was thinking, okay, we're seeing the beginnings of Regina. Maybe she's not bad. Maybe, because they said all wishes come with a price, maybe the price that is paid is that she would she turns evil. But that wasn't the case. But that's what I was thinking at this point.
And who did the king end up being?
The king? He is not.
Who's dead? No, but who's...
Dad thought he was the king from Wonderland, but Dad...
No. But then I realized it wasn't. Who was it?
I don't know.
Midas. Were you watching the show with us?
Whose dad is he?
Whose dad is he?
He's not his dad. He's not
the king. The king. Who's king? Who's the king?
The king is whose dad?
Midas.
The king is whose dad?
It's not Prince
You're going to be so embarrassed when you finally remember.
The king that saved the genie was the dad.
I thought you were talking about somebody else.
Oh my gosh, you're hurting our heads.
And I'm the one who usually gets it all wrong. What the heck?
I didn't know where you were going with that, sister.
So, the king that saved the genie is actually Snow White's dad.
Yeah.
And he's a really good guy. And we know Snow White is really good. And we think, as this is going on, we see that Regina, well, she wasn't Regina then, but the queen was playing like she was there, too?
Yes.
Oh. Well, she acted like she was trapped by the king. That he was like, it was a loveless marriage and everything. But, yeah. We were getting suckered. I was getting suckered anyway. So the genie is hanging out there with the king and everybody, and the queen looks upset, and she leaves this party they're at.
Yeah.
And do you remember what happens there?
I bet it's like Snow's birthday, because
it was something like that.
Yeah, she was getting all the attention, and the queen left. And then the genie went out there, and he showed her the mirror, and he said, I want you to see yourself as I see you.
Yeah.
So that...
And she asked, how do you see me?
Right. And do you remember what he said? He told her that she was the fairest in the land.
Oh, yeah.
So he was, just like we've talked about how in Storybrooke, Snow White and the prince are a little inappropriate because he's still married and everything. This is pretty inappropriate, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's telling her how beautiful she is, and there's like a little bit of love blossoming here. And you know what? She's married.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, once again...
And he was saved by her husband.
Right.
And so it's a double. That is
it's
really
a betrayal.
Bad. Really bad.
So then what happens after that? So the king, the next day, what happens?
They killed the king.
What? That's a little ways down. The king finds the diary of the queen. Yeah. And do you remember what she says in there?
I can't picture it exactly, but she says, a man gave me a mirror and he
stole my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the king is very upset by this, so what does he do?
He sends the genie to go find the person.
Right.
This is a trick. He says, what will you do to the person? He said, it's not my business, it's yours. It's not your business, it's mine. And he's
Right.
like, oh my gosh, because it's him.
Yeah, right.
He's like, it's going to be my business.
No, it's my business.
Uh-huh.
So,
So the queen's dad comes and he gives the
Yeah.
genie a box.
Mm-hmm.
right.
And
And
he
it's got
says,
2 viper.
but he said
Yeah.
it's the only
it's
thing.
one viper with 2 heads.
Oh, yeah.
He says it's the only thing that would save her from this wretched life.
Right, and then when it's opened, we find out it's the viper. Do you remember what type of viper it is? Do you remember what they called it?
Agrabah snake?
Yeah, an Agrabah viper.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a viper from the genie's land.
Yeah.
And it's got 2 heads, and it is angry. I wouldn't want to mess with that viper, would you?
No.
You know, and I know that you're a viper wrangler, so
What?
I might want to eat that viper. Tastes like chicken. Yeah.
So he lets loose
crazy.
this snake, and he watches the king die. I mean, that
it
was
bites.
really
It goes on
horrifying.
either side and it bites him on the neck.
On the jugular.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah.
And he says, he tells him, he admits it, I'm the one that she's in love with. And you saved me and everything, but now I have to save her just as you saved me.
Do you know what the king said to him right before he died?
Mm-mm.
He said,
Do you have any antidote for snake venom?
no, he said, I
Suck
wish...
the poison out.
He said, you were right, and I wish I hadn't used the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything came with a price, and there it is.
Yeah, because even then, doing a good deed for someone with your wish
So now we know
still bit him. You know,
how the
no
king
pun
died,
intended.
because when you know the story of Snow White and the queen and
Did you
everything,
just call it a snorry?
the story,
It wasn't a
Snow White.
boring story.
No, not at all. But you never really find out what
The
happens to the
snore,
dead.
I get it.
Right. And we don't know how the mirror became
Yeah, all that. But
trapped.
now
Yeah.
He became
this
trapped
filled in
it.
those blanks.
So, how
That's
did
just as I was saying it, like with fairy tales, it tells you, like, it fills in the blanks, like, how did the mirror get turned into the mirror?
how did he turn into it? What happened?
Well, he made a wish, and then,
Because after the king died, he went to
Yes.
the queen.
and she was upset.
And it turned out she had betrayed him. She set him up.
Yeah.
He realizes you got that Agrabah snake because it would lead back to me. But he's still under her spell. He's still like, no, you can't
He's in
reject me.
love
She's like,
with
go
her.
away. You need to escape. And she's obviously the evil queen. We know who she is now. It's been revealed.
Yes.
Now,
But how did he end up in the mirror?
What? What do you mean?
how did he get trapped in the mirror?
What happened?
Oh, yeah. Well, he got trapped in the mirror because he made a wish he said, I wish I could always look upon your face. Now,
Yes.
the first time I thought I saw this, I think I might have been thinking, like, will there be, like, a screen of her face, and he'll just walk and bump into everything, because he's just looking at her face.
That would be ridiculous. That would be ridiculous.
So everywhere he went, she'd just be in front of him. There'd just
Oh,
the face,
that would
no,
be
the
a price, wouldn't
be
it?
yeah,
The face, just
Yeah.
a
that
picture.
would be funny.
And
So-
then, bonk.
So it's a
Yep.
good thing you didn't write the story.
Yeah, right. So when he did this, he ends up in the mirror.
Yeah.
And he's going, no, because he realized the price he's
Yeah,
paying.
and
He's
guess
stuck
what? The queen smiled.
there. Yes, what does she say? She says something like,
I guess you got your wish.
yeah, oh, she's so evil.
So evil.
So now we know that. And throughout this story, we were seeing, back in Storybrooke, we were seeing Sidney Glass turning on her.
Mhm.
And that
But
he was
that wasn't
setting her
true
up.
in the end.
Right, because we'll get to that, but, I mean, we'll explain what happened, but...
I have to say something about the king. When
Yeah.
he died, he had these weird, creepy lines all over his face.
Yes. Yes, he did. Yeah, that was a good effect, too. That was pretty
Yeah.
creepy. What I was going to say is at the end there, we find out that this whole time, and once again, I was suckered in. I thought Sidney was actually working
I did
against
too.
the
And
mayor.
I've even seen it before, and I still thought he was working.
And at the end, we find out all of it was a setup. He is still under her spell.
Yeah,
He is still tied to her.
Hang on, there were a couple really good lines.
Okay.
I forget. Regina said one.
Well, first of all, we've got this castle, the playground,
Right.
and it gets torn down.
Well, and that's how it starts.
That's kind of the crux of
we
this
see Henry and
story.
Emma at the playground, and it's been destroyed by a storm.
And
or at least that's what we think.
Right, and the box with his book isn't buried in the ground underneath it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when the mayor goes to Emma to ask, let's work together and expose the mayor, they find out that there was $50,000 missing from the city.
Yeah.
And Sydney wants her to tap her phone and this or that.
Oh, yeah.
And so
And Emma keeps saying no, but then something will happen that'll tick her off, and goes,
she'll agree. Yeah.
You know what? You're right. And she puts a wiretap, and she follows Regina.
So they go to the mayor, and they said, we can't find the records. And Regina says, the records probably burned.
Yeah.
In a fire.
That made you sheriff.
A fire that got you elected sheriff. That was so funny.
Oh,
that was such
hilarious.
A funny scene. And so they find
and she
out.
started with that voice, in a fire that elected you sheriff.
Exactly. So they while they were in her office talking to her about this, Emma hit a wiretap so that they could record.
Right, right. She put a bug in her office.
Yeah, and so they found out the mayor was going to meet someone. So Emma and Sydney followed, and the brakes were cut on her car.
Yep.
Now, this was really a scary scene.
Well, yeah, because she starts hitting the brakes, and
But what do we find out later?
That Sydney cut the brake.
Yes.
Even he was even in the car.
He was in the car
He
and
wasn't
did it.
scared.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's scary.
So they were,
and they crash into just like some stuff.
That's
into
why
brush. Thank goodness they didn't get hurt, or the car didn't crash into a tree.
That's why it did.
Well, not like a big head-on collision that really hurt them. That could have been ended very badly.
And I loved the scene where Emma and Sydney broke into the office, and Emma just walks up, and Sydney says, "Well, how are we going to do this?" And she just smashes the door and smashes the glass in the door.
Ow!
And she said, "I'm the sheriff. It's only going to call me,
Yeah, they're only going to call me." And she's like,
"I have to be here anyway."
Right.
She just broke in. But
well, and then that's when they find all the records of what the Queen has been doing, or Regina has been doing. Yeah. And Regina shows up, and she's like, "Hey, you know what? I saw it happening, and I'm the sheriff. I had to be here." And Sydney was walking by. Go ahead.
Guess what? The playground she makes.
I can't even guess.
I totally want to be on that thing.
That playground was pretty cool.
It's got that. What's inside?
Well, so before we get to that, you were about to say something.
Well, I wanted to say that the key ring they had in her office. Regina pulls up this key ring.
Not Regina.
The mayor.
The mayor is Regina.
No. Emma pulls up the key ring.
But it's in the mayor's office, and it's a big key ring with all those keys from the fairy tale world.
Right, they have all the skulls on them. Now, what do you think those are, Mo?
Do you have any theories?
I do. What do you think?
They're all the snakes she's used. They're for all the boxes of snakes.
Who do you think she's used a lot of snakes?
Just been killing
what do you think?
people
I think I know what it is. What do you think it is?
I bet it's like she opens it up, and then it's the end of the happiness for the one story, and the happiness for the one story, and the happiness for the one story, and the happiness for the one story.
So those are her keys to the stories. I think those keys are the keys to the boxes of the hearts she has.
That's a good theory.
Yeah.
That's a little better than your theory.
What? No, you don't get it. No,
I don't get it at all.
I meant the boxes where she has all the snakes.
Yeah, but we've only seen one snake, but we've seen she has boxes and boxes of hearts. Dead silence.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Because I'm right. I don't want to believe you're right.
Okay. Well, we need to watch the series some more to find out who's right.
No, we're done. That's
theory.
It.
So, okay, wait. So this is important. Emma says to Sydney, she says, it's the fruit of the poisonous tree. That's the title of the episode.
Well, and that's what we know Regina has is the tree from her childhood that has the apples, and that's what she used to poison Snow White.
But that's not what Emma was referring to.
She just calls it that.
The fruit of the poisonous tree was illegally obtained evidence.
Yes.
And so she said nothing good is going to come of it because you can't use it in court. You can't... So
once again, these actions are coming with a price.
Exactly.
Consequences. That's what everything is boiling down to here.
And
it seems like I don't get it, but it seems like the whole series it's got Rumpelstiltskin tied into each.
he's in it.
No, he's tied in.
He is like the main.
Well, he's the
He's
one
the
that
ringleader, isn't he?
it turns out that he sold land to the mayor so she could build, what they thought was going to be this massive house.
Right. No,
but
it's
a
right.
playground.
And no, Dad,
What?
it was the massive house, but she was lying, and then it was the massive house, but she showed the playground. Now she has to build it.
Oh,
And then
could
she
So
had
be.
to
you
build
think
it.
that she was really actually going to build something for herself and then had to
See,
bail on it?
I'll tell you why
know.
I don't think that, Mal.
Why?
Because everything was a setup to make Emma look bad
Yeah.
and to make her look good. So I think she had that all set up. She knew that Emma would confront her. She knew that it would come out to the
Yeah.
And Sydney was
townspeople.
tricking her into believing that she was doing things.
right. And you know what?
correctly.
If it wasn't the playground, they could have figured that out very easily by really looking at those plans. When you looked at them, it looked like, wow, what is this weird structure in this weird castle? Now you know it's a playground, and they built exactly that. So I think
Plus,
that's what it
gets Henry. She looks like a hero to Henry because she built him a way cooler playground than the one she destroyed.
was. Right.
So I think that she did plan to do that.
I think all of that was a setup. Well, and we know everything with Mr. Glass was a setup.
I liked when Sydney said to Emma afterwards when they were talking about how it didn't go well.
Yeah.
And Sydney looked at her and he said, if you can't beat her, drink.
Yeah.
Yep. If
Yep,
you
that was his
can't
solution.
drink.
And then we find out that Sydney and the mayor are
It's made
working
with
together.
poisonous fruit.
So we don't know what that's
Again.
going to look like going forward with
Yes.
Sydney and the mayor working together
Well, and
because
because Emma thinks Sydney's her friend.
so
Yeah.
she's
So-
going to get tripped up on a few things here
Yes,
with this
he's gonna
guy
be a problem.
double-crossing her. And now who has the book? Who has
The writer that came to Storybrooke.
The writer, we
Wait
see
a
him
minute, I just
open
called Storybrooke.
Yeah,
Story-
they got my disease now.
Storybrooke.
So we see him
Yeah.
open the case, and inside is the book. He has it. Now, I still think...
I think he stole it. He stole it.
Oh, yeah, I think he took it before
They
things
tore
went
it down.
Yeah, but I still think he's going to turn out to be like one of the brothers Grimm or something.
Yeah.
Or a descendant, and he's writing the story
Mm-hmm.
of what's happening. That's what I think is happening.
I agree.
Or, you know what? I just had another thought. Maybe he's just like Henry. Maybe he is, further down the line, the descendant of Belle and the Beast or somebody like that. He has figured that out. He's become a writer and he's done this. He's put the pieces together and now he's in
No,
Storybrooke.
if he was Belle and the Beast, he had hair going
Well,
out everywhere.
Maybe I'm the Beast.
Beast.
He does have a beard.
Yeah, but we don't
Not
we
close
don't
enough
know.
to the Beast. The Beast, his whole body is hair.
Okay, it could
Like
be
Dad.
the son of anybody. But
Dad, you're
he
the
could
son
be
of
just
the
like
Beast.
Henry.
Yeah.
And he's put this together, but he's older and he's
Well, and how
solving
do
it
you
as a
not
writer.
know Emma is
I
Snow
think
White's
Right,
daughter,
she was
and they're the
outside.
same age.
Yeah, and she was
in
outside
Storybrooke.
of the
Yeah.
of
So he
Storybrooke.
could be someone's child, but be the same age, just like
That's right.
Emma is.
Could be anything. Ooh, I'm
Well, let's
excited.
get to the next one fast.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta go.
Belle! Bye-bye, Belle.
So thank you
Wait,
for
no, I mean hello, Belle, because she's coming in the next episode.
right.
Well, let's wrap it up.
So thanks for listening, everybody. You can find past episodes of this at our website, www.
At SouthgateMediaGroup.com.
Yeah, sorry, Molly, I stepped on your line there.
Yep.
Why don't we try that again? You can find past episodes of this and our other shows at
www.SouthgateMediaGroup.com.
Yeah, good job. And we're also on iTunes and Podbean and Stitcher and SoundCloud and BlackBerry, and I mean the list goes on forever. So if there's a place you get your podcasts and we're not there, let us know and we'll get it on
Raspberry
there.
and strawberry.
Oh, those sound like good ones. Very fruity. But they're not the fruit of the poisonous tree, are they?
Appleberry.
Appleberry. All right. You can follow us on Twitter at SMG Pods or me on Twitter at rsouthgate, and we do post the new episodes as they happen and any updates we have. We have a new Tumblr page, and we share all sorts of things on there from all of our different shows.
Are you like Matt Smith from the Dr. episode? You have to talk with your hands?
They can't tell that, but yes, I am.
When he gets that worked out. He's excited about Tumblr.
Right. So definitely follow us on Tumblr. That is Southgate Media Group. And, man, we could go on forever, but I think we'll end it there. Facebook, too. Find us on Facebook. So Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Instagram, Google+. We're on all of it. That's it. Thanks again for listening, everybody. Now let's end this the way every great fairy tale ends.
Happily ever after.
The end.
Dun, 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 dun.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.